Hello and welcome to Life Lessons with Barbara. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Barbara Aline Johnson, and I'll be sharing lessons I've learned. Some came harder than others from my many years of life experience, and some I've learned from my work with others for 40 plus years as a counselor, a therapist, consultant, and life coach. I am the owner of BEJ and Associates, LLC, a transformational coaching and consulting company. My team and I specialize in dismantling barriers that stand between you and the life you truly want to live, or that business, project, or masterpiece you hope to create. Let me give a shout out to Wdrb Media for giving me this wonderful opportunity to spend these few minutes with you. I hope you're enjoying After the Rain that's playing in the background as much as I do. That mellow tune is one of several creations by the phenomenal Lois Lady Mac McMorris, lead guitarist extraordinaire. To download After the Rain and hear more of her tunes, go to my website, bej-associates.com. You can also hear and see some past shows and hear more about my company. Until the end of the month, you can even sign up for a free 45-minute coaching session. Again, that's bej-associates.com, and you're listening to Life Lessons with Barbara. Now stay tuned. You will be meeting Melissa, one of my first clients as a life coach. Welcome to Life Lessons with Barbara, and today I have one of my most favorite clients. She's one of the first people that was willing to work with me even before I got certified. And her name is Melissa. And Melissa has a very interesting story. And I'm inviting her, if she so chooses, to tell as much of her story as she feels comfortable with. And then, to talk a little bit about how the coaching and all of that kind of blossomed into who she is now. Something like that.
Hi, Barbara.
Hi. Hi, Melissa.
Oh, goodness. Let's see here. When I started working with you, I was newly out of a very horrific relationship. I had, my feet were any place but under me. Trying to put one foot in front of the other on a daily basis was very difficult. I had no priority list. I had forgotten how to do those things for myself.
Mm-hmm. That relationship, how long had it gone on?
I spent 8 years in a very violent relationship. I've been told by a couple of different attorneys that after talking with them about what I lived through, that it's probably one of the most violent domestic violence stories that they've heard. I know that there are plenty of others who are horrifically more violent. There are women who don't make it out. But I was hospitalized twice with broken bones. Every weekend that my ex was home, or every week that he was there if he wasn't working, every day was just trying to not set him off.
Walking on eggshells.
constantly trying to escape the broken glass all over the floor. It really was.
Yes.
When I left, I was in pure survival mode, which was a different kind of survival mode from the 8 years that I'd lived.
Yeah.
I was safe, but it was safe, but needing to go to the courthouse or go for going to interact almost every day for a couple of weeks.
Domestic violence.
Yeah, there was all for the first several weeks, every single day there was an appointment that had to be made or a legal step that had to be taken.
But before that, Melissa, we don't want to leave out one special.
My sweet boy. My very, very sweet boy. He was the reason. There are a lot of women who do not leave until something with their child winds up giving them the motivation. And he was my motivation. I could tell that he needed learning assistance, that his father was unwilling to allow him to be involved in. And what really did it was looking at him one day and realizing, if I don't get out of here, his father's going to be raising him by himself. And I couldn't let that happen.
How old was your son when you made that decision?
He was a little over 2.5. I made that decision a little over midway through February of 2012. And he was born April 23rd. So he was about to turn 3.
Let me ask you this, because there may be some women in the audience who are going through now what you went through, but there had to have something happened inside of you, at some point you found the strength to change the situation. And
I didn't want to die.
Okay.
That I just didn't want to die. I didn't want to be taken out of the house in a body bag, and my son being raised by his father.
Yes.
And that was it. It was pure, the most basic of mothering instincts.
Yes, yes. And I remember that resolve you had, and you were full of rage too. I don't know if you.
Oh my God, unbelievable rage.
Yes, yes. And I remember that. And so our challenge was to channel that rage.
Yes.
And to start moving in purposeful, definite taking definite steps towards your emancipation, your freedom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Was there a trigger point, or was there something in particular that happened that, where your this belief in yourself kicked in?
I watched a podcast. It was about it was a TED Talk. I cannot remember her name. She was wearing all black. She had gone to Harvard. She was a very well-educated, amazing businesswoman who, despite all of that, had married a guy who was, before she even walked down the aisle, she knew that he lived with 3 guns, and he punched her and etc. before they even got married. And she still walked down the aisle, and she still kept the fantasy. And when she left, she was able to recover and to move forward and to find a really great person and remarry and reclaimed her life 100%.
That's interesting that you happened to see that.
I happened to see that Thursday before the Wednesday that I left. It was basically a week after I saw before that, chronology was I saw that on a Thursday. I got in touch with a couple of girlfriends, I think Friday. By Monday of the next week, and I thought, okay, I'll do this in like 2 weeks. By Monday of the next week, I had started setting it in motion. By Wednesday, I was at the courthouse. I thought I was going to put it off for financial reasons, and I suddenly realized, why am I going to stay here to go through finances with somebody who is in all likelihood going to punch me during that financial session at some point? Why am I going to do that to myself? So I didn't. It's amazing how much you can find yourself when you're simply ready to do it.
Yes. And is there anything that you can attribute that to? And okay, so where I'm headed is,
Yes, ma'am.
Was there some kind of spiritual awakening or something, maybe watching that TED Talk or something that kicked in and gave you, empowered you with resolve that you didn't have before? Well, I'm sorry, but that's all the time we have for today's show. Is that a cliffhanger or what? Tune in again next Saturday to hear Melissa's response to that question. It is a life lesson moment. I hope you enjoyed today's show and will tune in every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. And don't forget to visit my website, bej-associates.com, to download the Fabulous Lady Max After the Rain and to check out her other tunes. And you can also learn more about BEJ and Associates and sign up to take advantage of our free 45-minute life coaching session while they last. Also, let me remind you that the huge 3-day 80th birthday celebration in honor of the legendary African-American entrepreneur and humanitarian Dr. Joe L. Dudley Sr. will take place May 20th through the 22nd in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Now, all the information you'll need to register for the various events are on my website. If you missed my interview with Dr. Dudley, that's also available on my website in 3 parts. Just click the tab marked radio and look for WDRB Media shows number 4, 5, and 6. And I especially encourage you to purchase your $15 ticket for the Marathon Mastermind meeting on May 20th, when you'll get to hear firsthand from Dr. Dudley and other African American millionaires and billionaire entrepreneurs who will inspire and encourage us with their stories of success. Take part in this major movement to revitalize our communities and be motivated to become personally more prosperous in the process. Join us. I'd love to see you there. And sign up at bej-associates.com. You can also let me know if you'd be interested in sponsoring Life Lessons with Barbara, so we can extend the show from 15 minutes to a half an hour, or maybe to a 1-hour format. Our life lesson for today comes from Melissa. Nothing good will require you to give up your personal power. So, until we meet again next Saturday at 9 a.m. for Life Lessons with Barbara, have a fabulous week. Namaste.